Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Wick Airport, where we're going to be taking the Scottish Ambulance Service HEMS Airbus H145. Beautiful aircraft from Hyper Performance Group. For a flight, just doing a practice casualty pickup. We're going to first of all fly out to a rig and just have a quick practice at landing on the rig, and then we're going to head on and pick up our casualty using the Aerosoft North Sea pack, which has got quite a few objects scattered across the area, and using the High Performance Group Action Pack expansion for the H145, of course, to give us the ability to do some life-saving practice and all that kind of good stuff. So why don't we just get going? Right, here we are in the cockpit. So let's get cracking now. We don't want to waste any time because we've got a fair amount to do. So we've got the battery master switch on. Just having a look down here. We're looking for our power test OK down in this bit, which has come up very nicely. We will quickly pop in our crew. We've got no payload, but we'll pop in the crew load. There we go. Put that there, and then validate. There we go. Cyclic is centered, and the collective lever is all the way down. That's good. Right, prime pump's on. Actually, let's put the anti-collision lights on first, just to let everyone know we're about to do something involving spinning things. That's the prime pumps on. Let's have a quick look at the DC voltage, which is good. 25.3. We want it greater than 23.5, so that's all good. Quick look around. Let's close the doors before it gets a bit windy in here, and the back. There we go. Well done, fella. Okay, so engine 1 into idle. Just having a look here, doing the startup test. And we've got start, which is good. So now we can, engine 2, start her up. Looking here at our engine instruments just to check that everything's looking good there. Engine 1's gone into idle. Engine 2 is still in start. Okay, that's all good. So avionics now, we can have the standby battery on, avionic master on, prime pumps off, transfer pumps on. We'll put the strobe on. We will have the pitot heat on, LAV-CS2 pilot, and just quick glance down here. We've done that. That's fine. Blah 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 blah. Good. Okay. Right. So where are we with everything else? We have got a mission planned into the box here, and I've already checked that that's set up. So this is our mission. It's going to take us down towards Rosemarkie Point and Inverness. We're going to do the quick land on the rig first, though. This is a practice, so no one's groaning on the ground now waiting for us to appear. We have also got, what I'm going to do is just pop into, I'm going to use this really for our navigation to the casualty and everything, but what I am going to do,
TOS, system test OK.
Pop a quick flight plan into here to the rig, which I have put in as a user waypoint. There we go. Beatrice B, so that is now in that box. There we go, and that I'll just pop it onto traffic for the time being. That's good. Let's have the those on. That's all good. So what have we got? We've still got the engine in idle. That's showing up there. The startup test green is showing there, so that's all good. I'm going to put the landing light on. There we go. That's all good. Right, you all good in the back, lads? Yeah, there we go. Right, let's go into flight mode. Make sure I get the click spots right for those. Okay, everything else is looking good. I'm going to pop this onto the nav display. Cool, happy with all that. Right, let's aviate. Another quick look around. I think I've got AI on. Not AI, multiplayer. So I'm just going to scoot over here and then take off into wind just across the bows of the runway there. Nothing coming. So if you look on the map on the tablet there, it is going to show us off course because we are deviating from the mission at the moment. Do our little rig landing. And let's head out to sea. I have to say it is very, very atmospheric, and I'm not even doing this in VR, but flying over the North Sea here, and it is quite a chilly day today,
100 feet.
In the real world that is, so yeah, very atmospheric. Just keeping an eye on the altitude there, hand flying it. This has got a very, very clever autopilot in it, which I have used a little bit, but I tend to like to hand fly it as much as I can. Also, incidentally, I'm using the original high performance group flight model. They are working on a flight model to use with the new helicopter physics that are in Microsoft Flight Simulation. I've had a go at that. It's almost like having to learn to refly it again. It's quite different. So for this flight and this video, I'm just using the original flight model while I'm still practicing with the other one, because it's a very different animal. It's still work in progress. They are a fantastic developer for keeping on top of things, and they're really turning out different versions, different tweaks and things for the flight model pretty much all the time as they work on it. So it's going to be amazing when it's done, and it's interesting how it does make it a different animal. Certainly in the hover, that kind of thing, different physics, and for the rotary experts out there, the perfectionists, yes, I know I'm using a joystick with a spring center. I think one point I can imagine I'm probably going to end up getting a separate joystick just to use for helicopter flying that doesn't have the sprung center. So that does also, especially with the realistic flight model, or rather the new Microsoft Flight Simulator physics for helicopters, that does make that a little bit more interesting. But really looking forward to see how that high performance group new flight model turns out. In the meantime, this is one I'm a little bit more comfortable with, so we're going to use this. But I am going to start coming off this as their work on the experimental ones progresses, because I need to unlearn this, really. I want to move on to the new one. Doesn't necessarily mean that this one is easy, as you'll see when I try and land on the rig, but it's certainly not easy, but it's just different. It has a different feel to it. The dynamics of the cyclic, for example, are quite different at the moment in the new version. But it is great fun nonetheless. At the end of the day, it'd be boring if it was easy, right? Yeah, well, we're just tooting over there, so this is part of our autopilot panel down here if we wanted to use that. And then also we have excuse me, we also have these controls here. I'll just switch that over to our TDS GTN XI on the pilot side, because that's what we're using. Pilot in a helicopter or a captain in a helicopter sits on the right hand side, unlike in a fixed wing. So here we are coming up to the rig. I'm running real world weather. We have got a 16 knot just watching it change on little nav map. Just got up to about 21 knots, so this could be quite interesting. No doubt very entertaining for you. The disappointing thing is if I want to land into wind, which I should do, I've actually got the rig behind the rig superstructure, will be behind the landing pad. So I'm gonna have to land with a tailwind, which isn't particularly brilliant. And I'm not sure if they would do that in real life. Right, let's get our mission map back. Let's start bleeding off some speed now. So this, I should say, and I shouldn't say because I should be concentrating. Let me tell you when we get down. Wasn't the best approach, and we don't really want to hit the rig, so let's just back off a little bit. That wind really catching us there as we came in, so let's come back over. Wind pushing us again. keep some back pressure on the cyclic. There we go. Well, a little bit on the rocky side, but we got down, and we didn't have a tail strike, so that is a good thing. And I have a feeling, seeing as we have multiplayer on, that there is something else around here, because I'm sure I saw a shadow pass over us just before. But there we go, we're down on the rig. So what was I going to say about the rig? Let me just come out a little bit. One of the things that did surprise me about this Aerosoft North Sea pack is it does say in the manual that for various reasons to do with obtaining models, some of the models are a little bit low poly, and this is one of the low poly ones, so it's not quite a great example of how good some of this scenery is, but it's perfectly adequate for doing what we're doing here, landing practice, that kind of thing. But as you can see, it's a pretty basic model really, compared to some of the high-res ones that they've got in here. I'm not sure if that's something that might change as time goes on. If I'm completely honest with you, and this isn't a review of the North Sea pack, I was a little bit disappointed when I saw this sort of thing. I was expecting more, but you know, hopefully we'll see that change as we go on. Okay, so now we're actually going to finally go and rescue our practice casualty. Okay, just getting a few things set up first. Just having a look at our position here. That's okay. Right. Okay, so now we are going to go and get our practice casualty. And I'm going to anticipate that we're going to get a tailwind as we take off. Let's not mess about there. Let's lift off. Back on the cyclic. We're going to back away from the rig. Keep away from that superstructure. And let us get out of here. Go and have a look at that tanker as we go past. Another platform over there. So there's quite a lot of different platforms in this, and I understand that Aerosoft couldn't model each and every one of them. I do get that. Some of the vessels in this pack if you didn't know, do have helicopter landing pads on. So you can practice doing that as well. Some of them don't. Some of them, unless I've got my shipping things mixed up, which I don't think I have, because I'm pretty sure I removed anything I had. Look like they've got pads, but then when you actually try and land on them, there's nothing there. You kind of go through the floor, but you can still use it for practice landing on a moving ship. I think from memory, I've seen one of these before and it doesn't have a helicopter landing pad. Not that we're going to anyway, because we haven't got time, but I don't think these do. But the detailing is quite good. Oh no, that has got a helipad on it. So we're heading down towards Rosemarkie now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with the autopilot now while we're just doing this quite a relatively long transit now. I haven't used the autopilot a great deal, so do bear with me if I get it wrong. So first of all, I'm going to put it into alt mode. Okay, everything is good there. Checking that everything's looking okay. Now I'm going to move the heading bug around here. There we go. And let's put it into heading mode. There we go. And now the helicopter is flying us. Which I shouldn't, but I always find very strange. I kind of always, I guess because I've only ever really hand-flown helicopters in my limited experience, it always seems very strange letting the helicopter fly you, which is daft, because you know that's what autopilots are about, hey. Interesting. We got a little bit of weather up ahead. Just see some what looks like rain coming down. Very atmospheric, isn't it? I do love that about this sim. The lighting, just the feel of it. What do you think, mate? All good? How are we doing in the back? Everyone okay? Yep, you all right, mate? Yeah, he's saying, will you just shut up? Stop your wittering. All the time you witter. Just going to alter our course a little bit. And let's get the mission map back up. I'm a bit distracted then. A little bit of rain. We can see the magenta line on the mission map now is starting to appear. Right, so we can see a little bit more of the land now. What I'm doing is obviously editing out a little bit of this transit over the sea, because there's only so much of me waffling on that you can take, and this is quite a long old stretch, but everything is looking nice. Beautiful, beautiful area of Scotland, this. What part of Scotland isn't beautiful? What am I saying? Rosemarkie Point. I keep calling that's kind of how I know it. It may have a different name. I am just going to quickly look on the old map so I can give you what we got. We've got the town. Okay, we've got the town of Fortrose, the town of Rosemarkie, and then you've got a promontory that goes out with the golf course, which we'll see, and then at the end of it you've got what's that? Chanonry Lighthouse. Chanonry Point is the proper name of it. I was actually recommended to come and have a look at this place when I was on a trip up here once, because at certain times of the day you can see dolphins, and you have to, I'm trying to remember now, is it high tide or low tide? One of those, you have to, if you time it right, then you'll see dolphins swimming up and down the estuary, and yeah, that was quite an amazing sight. Don't think we're going to see any dolphins today. If we do, it will certainly be a bonus. I think the closest thing we're going to see to getting a dolphin is if I deployed the flotation devices, landed it, and I jumped into the water and flapped around a bit. But let's face it, neither you or I want to see that. Right, now as we come in a bit closer, I'm going to take the autopilot off, so I'll do it a slightly different way. We'll go click, click. There's probably an autopilot cancel button somewhere, but I don't have it set up because it's not something I've really used a great deal. So we'll just go and say hello to this boat and see what we've got. At this distance, it looks like a pleasure cruiser. Let's go and say hello. Wind currently 8 knots. It's gone down a bit now that we're closer to shore. Yeah, I'm not sure if that could be one of the inbuilt Microsoft flight simulator ships. I'm not going to pretend to be a ship expert. So we're going to, first of all, I think I'm going to bring around over Fort George, which is just on this promontory over here. And then we can head over to the casualty site. I've not looked at the site in the sim. I've placed the objects. I'm hoping it looks okay. I think that's always part of the fun. That's my excuse for not doing proper preparation and reviewing the site first. But we'll see when we get there. Hopefully, certainly in real life, there's a couple of good landing grounds. So I'm hoping that we're going to see the same in the sim. How are we doing in the back, lads? Are you ready for a bit of rescuing? They're always very quiet, and I can't quite work out whether it's they're just in awe at the piloting skills that they're not seeing on display, or whether they maybe they're just thinking types, you know, philosophers, saving lives, aviating, and philosophizing all at the same time. Seeing a few more vessels out here now. I do love this helicopter. I've not really tried much of the new helicopters in the sim, just because I love this one so much, and it's in such contrast to the normal kind of steam gauge warbird flying that I like to do. But there is just so much to this helicopter with the ability to fly missions and things like that. It's just great fun, and it's just so damn atmospheric, and in VR it's brilliant, really is. I wish there was a way that I could record a VR video that you could then watch in VR, I think that would just be amazing. And anyone who hasn't tried VR, trust me, it's I held off for a long time, and then I tried it at a flight sim show for the first time. It was seem to remember, it was a Cessna, light Cessna, just flying over a landscape, and I think it probably took about 3 seconds before I thought, my God, this is something I've got to get. Right, so there is Fort George, and then just on the nose, beyond that, is our little promontory where our emergency vehicles and everything hopefully will be. I've got a nasty feeling they might be underwater, but let's have a look. There's Fort George. Okay, let's see if all our objects are there as we hope they're going to be. There we go, that's better.
100 feet.
So we have our lighthouse. I can see the ambulance. And there we go, there's a casualty just there. And a police car. Okay. Let's bring it round. And then we'll just land on that promontory. Get us in quite close actually to the ambulance. So what's the wind? There we go. So we've got 8 knots from 252, so I do need to come over to the right slightly, and then we can just point the nose into wind as we come in. Let's do this proper like. So just coming over to the right. Start bringing it forward. We're not going to be hoisting, we're actually going to land next to it. We hoisted on the last video when we were down in Snowdonia. And shut down, or rather just not shut down, cyclic collective down, and then engines to idle. So there he is over there, just picking up the patient. Let's have a quick look around, check everything else is looking okay. And back we come. Get back in, fella. Come on then. Right, let's get ready for the ride to the hospital now. Right, everything's secure. Patient in the back secure. Okay. Okay, everything's come back online nicely. Let's go. It's absolutely gorgeous scenery around here, without a doubt. But then, if you follow this channel, you know I'm a little bit obsessed with the Highlands. A bit of snow on the ground. To have a good check of the winds when we come in. There's the hospital. Looks like they've had a wee bit of snow up here. And
500.
There's our landing pad there. Right, what's the wind? 9 knots from just over there, so we do need to come around a little bit. And then we'll do an approach, really kind of pointing towards the hospital. And that'll put us more into wind. Right, quick look around just to check that everything is as it should be. There it is. So I want to keep clear of those trees. Bring us over to the right. And we'll come down. Don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of almost, there we go, center screen now. Let's just pop the pad out the way. Make it a little bit easier. Get some better visibility. So And isn't that sod's law? The wind direction has just changed. So let's gently bring around. Come over here. Just bringing us around a little bit more. Then I'm going to need to turn over the car park. This is a rather arse-about-face
100 feet.
approach because the wind has changed direction. So we've now effectively got a tailwind, as you can see from the little display on the MFD there. Right, let's kick it round. That's better. Now we have a headwind. Now we can start bringing it down ever so gently. Okay, so we're down. Get the pad back just so we can monitor that. So now back into idle. There we go. And hopefully all goes to plan. Well, we're definitely at the hospital. Let's do a full shutdown. It shouldn't make a difference, but we are definitely at the hospital, as you can see from there. Well, it doesn't look like the patient wants to get out today, so hey, there you go. Maybe they just enjoyed my flying so much. To be fair, this is the first time... Oh, hello. No, to be fair, this is the first time this has happened. So what would normally happen, of course, is that the fellow would jump out the back and wheel the stretcher off, and then the mission would complete. But for some reason, in this case, it hasn't. So never mind, but we got there in the end. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We have a Discord. I'll put the link down below. And if you did enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. See you soon.